Hey there, my name is Cole Adams, and you are watching the best college basketball podcast out there that covers the entire sport of college basketball, brackets, bubbles, and bid stealers. Now, here are your hosts, Sam Fetterman and Jonathan Lidskin.
Season 6, episode 49 of Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Stealers. I'm Sam Fetterman. That is Jonathan Lidskin. Jonathan, happy Friday night.
Happy Friday night, Sam. How was Hamilton?
Fun basketball game.
You got a close game.
Yeah, got a close game. Northeastern picked up Bill Cohen's 300th career victory against Colgate tonight, 68-65. But we're not going to talk much about that. We're probably not going to talk about that at all. It's pretty incidental to the grand scheme of things that we're going to discuss in this podcast. But before we get started, make sure that you are following at BBBCBB Podcast on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitch, and subscribe to the Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Stealers YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Stealers wherever you get your podcasts so you can make sure that you're not missing any of the content that we're putting out throughout the season, Jonathan. We do have to start in Chapel Hill. Very impressive performance, especially.
First off, before we even get started, Grand Canyon's about to lose.
Yep.
Down 10. And once again, for the second time this week, we have to monitor the situation in Eugene.
Yeah. And Shellstad's back, so it's not like
Evan. I think Evans is playing tonight.
Yeah, not a good. Nobody has BTN Plus, so nobody's going to be able to watch that. But situation is being monitored.
Also, Sacramento State currently up 6 in the second half against something called William Jessup. I don't know William.
William Jessup is a classic non-D1 opponent. I've seen them play against like every team.
I've never met William Jessup, but he's surely giving a good fight to Mike Bibby and company right now.
The Holy Trinity of Mike Bibby, Shaquille O'Neal, and Mikey Williams.
Yeah.
So let's start in Chapel Hill, Jonathan.
Yeah, let's.
You caught a lot more of this game than I did. I was obviously driving back for the first half of this game.
Mm-hmm.
But the second half is the story from this one, Jonathan.
Oh, absolutely. I think it was pretty apparent like where the matchup was going to be won lost in the first 4 minutes, honestly. And UNC shooting like they did in the second half didn't exactly help the cause for Kansas, but like in the first 4 minutes, UNC turned it over 4 times, and they also got like 4 offensive rebounds. Like Kansas was going to be at a rebounding disadvantage, I should say, like from the jump, but they were switching every screen. It didn't help, and credit to UNC, like they knew where to go with the ball. Like I think they had these guys well scouted. They knew what they were going to get, where they were going to get their good looks, and they come out and shoot whatever it was, 67% in the second half, 57%. I forget what the number was, but something absurd. It felt like they couldn't miss.
I think there's a couple of ways you could kind of look at this. One of them, and the way that I'm assuming the national media is going to look at this game, is that, oh, crap, UNC is a top 10, top 5, whatever, because that's what tends to happen when a team wins a big early season game like this. Versus the way I see it as North Carolina is good. Like they're very much better than where I ranked them in the preseason. But this type of performance is an outlier shooting performance in the second half. And not to mention, I'm still not entirely sure how good Kansas is. And you're getting a team whose best player is a freshman on your home floor, rocking crowd early in the season. Credit to North Carolina for going out there, getting the job done. But the fact that the Tar Heels did everything they could in this game. They were awesome, especially second half offensively. Caleb Wilson, really, really good performance. Just all over the rim, all over the court and in all areas. I think that this is kind of what we were looking at in terms of like, hey, if you're in on Caleb Wilson, if you're in on UNC, you're in on Caleb Wilson. This is why, because they needed him to be that catalyst of scoring and kind of driving and also being the guy on the defensive side of the ball that can do it on the perimeter and on the inside. For as good as Vesar was, and Vesar was awesome in this game, Caleb Wilson was the best player on the floor for most of it, and that's a court that Darren Peterson was on.
Yeah, at the start of the game, UNC didn't really acknowledge Vesar as a 3-point shooting threat, and he made them pay for that multiple times. And then, of course, he had a couple others. I think maybe he only hit the 2, but anyway, he's a threat out there. You can't leave him open at the top of the key. He can shoot. Like, you have to go guard him out there, and Kansas clearly had no intent to do so. Caleb Wilson was impressive to me in a couple ways. One, you could put him in the dunker spot, and he'll be obviously great from there as a lob threat, offensive rebounder. We saw that right off the bat. But what was more impressive to me is how much he's grown as an individual creator over the last year and change from his junior year of high school to now. Because I didn't really see it with him offensively when he was a junior. I thought he made some steps as a senior, but he's clearly gotten even better now. And he had a couple really tough shots in the mid-range. I don't know if that's like a healthy shot diet to be consistent all year, but it sure as hell worked tonight. And it gave Kansas all sorts of problems. And obviously with his size, he can just go like rise up and shoot over guys because he's so athletic.
Is this the best early season performance we've seen from UNC in the Hubert Davis era?
Yeah, I think so.
I think I would have to agree. Like this is a team that we've kind of known from the start of the seasons over the last couple of years that, hey, they're not like that good.
What did they do 2 years ago when they got a 1 seed?
They didn't play anyone until Atlantis, and they lost to Villanova in Atlantis, and then they came back home and beat Tennessee. I remember that game because
weird game
went off. Very weird game. But tonight, I think this was a just all around better performance because of how well oiled that machine was offensively in the second half. I think Kansas completely fell apart in the non-Peterson minutes in the first half. And from what I was able to watch back, it just seems like they didn't have anything going for them. Council did have 7 assists tonight, but it did not feel like he was making his presence felt. He was 2 for 11 from the field. He didn't get to the line. He didn't hit a 3. They need Peterson on the floor, and I'll give credit to Bill Self for sticking Peterson back in there with 2 fouls. He needed to do it, and he did do it, and it got them the lead going into halftime. An 8-point lead. They were up by 10 at one point, but you can't really do anything against that kind of onslaught that Carolina brought in the second half, and that could be their best 10 minutes of basketball all year. Like, I'm not certain that it won't be, but it's a very encouraging sign regardless for the Tar Heels.
Yeah, Darren did his thing tonight. I thought he was good. He had 22 points, only 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 turnovers, 2 steals. He's a very good player. We know that. I think the fact that Kansas isn't using him as their point guard right now is a mistake, and one that proved costly tonight, especially in the second half. I thought Melvin Council was terrible, to be perfectly honest. He was forcing bad shots. He was trying to do too much. I know he ended up finishing with like 7 assists, but I think that was simply a byproduct of the fact that he had the ball a lot. Like, I don't think Kansas is using their roster right now in the best way. Like also like how often you gonna get 4 threes from four threes basically in a row from Bryson Tiller? Thought El Marco was fine. Like, he had his moments. I can't figure out Flory. This may not have been just the matchup for him, but he still looks like very kind of, you know, I don't know what the word I'm trying to get at is here, but like kind of rusty almost. Like Flory's not a guy that's like super coordinated or like super good footwork, and I think that showed a couple times. He also, if you throw the ball to him in the post, he tries to score every time. Like he will not give it up.
I think for a guy that like is as much of that as he brings the ball down too much. Like if you're throwing it to him high, he's got to keep it high. I think that's something that he's got to.
Am I allowed to?
Am
I allowed to cuss?
If you want.
If Kansas is going to play Jaden Dawson 10 fucking minutes a game, they're not going anywhere. He's supposed to be the guy on the perimeter that is like improving their team, right? Because like they haven't had wings that can shoot. He can.
I think the idea is that they want Cole Rosario to be that, and they think he can be a little more.
I didn't think Rosario was very good tonight.
And yeah, like Rosario, I don't know what they brought in Dawson for if it's not to play big minutes, because he can really guard and he can really shoot. Hopefully for Kansas, that's something that grows throughout the year. And again, I want to think like, hey, with Carolina, Bogovac, like he didn't play in the exhibitions, if I recall. He was pretty solid.
He had some nice moments.
Yeah, he had some nice moments.
I don't think he really guards, but like he's pretty smooth on the offensive end.
Yeah, like I think they're probably long term going to need a little more from him so that they don't have to play Trimble and Evans 35 minutes apiece. And Wilson obviously is going to be on the floor.
Evans, I thought in the first half looked timid, and in the second half really turned it on.
Yeah, that was big. I think that was kind of one of the big differences that turned it around. Evans was a lot more confident and comfortable. That's something that you're going to need from him because he's not exactly a true point guard. This team doesn't have a true point guard, and they're asking him to shoulder a lot of the game managing responsibilities. So that's got to be something that he's going to be really good at. And again, 16 assists as a team. They had 4 different guys with 3 assists. So I don't think there's a lack of passing on the roster. I think that there is just not a true point guard. Obviously, Dixon is in a sense some of that, but not exactly all of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that it's not like certain teams where we've talked. It's not like a Providence team where I look at the roster and say, not only is there not a true point guard, but there's not playmaking. There's playmaking here. Like Vesar can have guys work off of him. Trimble is not like a nothing as a passer. I think he's got some passing skill that we haven't seen a ton of, but when he had the ball, he was able to make some plays. And obviously Evans is enough of a playmaker himself to the point where I think it's going to be fine. And I think Carolina, this was for all intents and purposes the Caleb Wilson game.
UNC looked much more organized offensively than they did at any point last year tonight.
I agree.
Like using Vesar as like the top of the key trigger man and like playing off of him with like movement on the perimeter is like that's how this team should play.
Yeah, Vesar is the linchpin of everything, and that's kind of what he needs to be. Wilson is the key that unlocks the next gear. And I think we saw that tonight. We saw that next gear. We saw Caleb Wilson play in an unbelievable game. He was awesome. He was awesome on Monday night as well. So Really,
I want
really,
to make it clear that like I don't think that UNC is that much better than Kansas right now. I think
yeah.
UNC.
I don't think they're
I
13
think
points
UNC had a
better.
terrific shooting night and did some things better, but like I think there's definitely a world where this game is not only closer but like right there at the end.
I mean, yeah, they're 21st in KenPom right now. Like that seems like totally fair for what you for the moment. They don't have another big game until they play Michigan State in late November. They play Bonaventure right before that, and that could be interesting, both at a neutral site. But they get Kentucky away in the ACC SEC Challenge, so that's going to be an interesting stretch of games. And Georgetown comes to Chapel Hill that Sunday, and they got a big win tonight that we'll discuss shortly. So a lot of interesting matchups for UNC in late November, early December. They play Radford, NC Central, and Navy in the next week or in the next 2 weeks. So not a lot that we're going to be able to glean from those games. Navy got blasted tonight by Yale by like 30. Really impressive performance by Yale at Navy. We might get into that a little bit. But yeah, I thought Carolina kind of showed something tonight that like I wasn't sure if they had this gear in them. I don't know how much we're going to see this offensive gear in the second half, but I know that they have it. And now this is maybe not the standard that we should hold them to, but it's something that we should keep in mind when we talk about Carolina for the rest of the season.
They're not in players era, are they?
No, they are going to.
So their next tough
Fortnite.
game is like Michigan State.
Well, they have the Bonaventure game. That could be tough. Who knows how good Bonaventure is.
So they play Michigan State, Kentucky, Georgetown, Ohio State.
And like that's like Bonaventure's Super Bowl, probably. Considering.
Yeah, and then conference play. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Other game from tonight that I hinted at discussing, Georgetown and Maryland. We mentioned this last night, Jonathan. We said that the 11-point KenPom spread was a little bit insane. It was a lot bit insane. From the very start of this game, Georgetown was up 11-0. It was a game that Georgetown controlled the whole way. They got up by 20 in the second half. This felt like Georgetown basketball. Like this is what Ed Cooley wants Georgetown to be. Just a tough physical team. They were this is obviously they fouled a lot. Maryland got to the line a lot, but Maryland was not able to do anything in terms of actually scoring at the rim when they weren't fouled. Georgetown had 11 blocks in this game, Jonathan. They are physically imposing, and this feels like what Georgetown basketball should be. They are a bunch of tough dudes.
The ball went through the basket 13 times in live action for Maryland tonight. Like Georgetown dragged them into the mud, and when you look at Maryland's roster, like this is a team that probably will drag other teams into the mud a lot. And Georgetown went out there in a rock fight on the road. And frankly, despite the end of the first half spurt, Georgetown pretty much controlled the game. They went on a huge run to start the game. They controlled the second half. This game was never really in doubt once the second half got going. I mean, this game was a absolute pain to watch. Like obviously you didn't get to watch it because you were covering your own game, but I turned this on and it's just fouls and good point of attack defense and awful shots, like no creation whatsoever. But like I'm not saying that to dog on both of these teams. I think Georgetown can be quite good with the way they play. They're going to be really hard to get to the rim against with all the defenders they have on the perimeter. And if they're going to draw fouls like they did tonight, they shot 31 free throws. So I know Maryland shot like 37, but the way Georgetown plays is going to be so annoying to play against, and just nobody's going to want to watch. But
I want to watch.
Like, no, this is a nasty team. They are tough.
Yeah. I'm sitting here like I saw the Maryland starting lineup get posted, and I'm like, what is going on here? Like, why are 3 freshmen starting for Maryland? Like, what is the point of starting Guillermo Del Pino if his leash is 1 turnover and he doesn't get on the court for the rest of the game?
Yeah.
Like Miles Rice and Diggy Coet and Isaiah Watts, like those are your veteran guards. You started 3 freshman guards. No wonder you're down 11-0, whatever
Yeah.
it was. Like that was a bad coaching decision by Buzz Williams to start those guys. Considering, I mean, I know that he started those 3 guards against Coppin State. Congrats, we're against Coppin State. Miles Rice didn't play in that game, and I know like it's Miles Rice coming back, and if he's healthy enough to play 27 minutes, he's healthy enough to start. I don't really get what message he was trying to push there. I think overall for Maryland, they will get better as the year goes on. Because look, they do have a lot of freshmen. Adams, Mills, Del Pino, and Turkson will all be part of the rotation. And then there's going to be more guys that are part of this as the year goes on. Rice will get more comfortable. So I don't think that Maryland is. I don't think their season's over at all. I don't know the deal with Solomon.
Yeah, I would stop short of saying their season's over.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the deal with Solomon Washington right now. Wonder when he can be back. But overall for Maryland, a bunch of interesting games. They've got Marquette next Saturday. They're in Players Era. They've got Iowa and Michigan in their early Big Ten games, and then they go to Virginia on December 20th. So they will have a lot of opportunities. This is not like the Buzz Williams schedules at Texas A&M, where it felt like they were playing a lot of easy games early in the season. And
it's because Buzz didn't make the schedule.
Yeah. If you remember, they started like 15-2 and then lost however many in a row that one year. And then Buzz got mad they didn't make the NCAA tournament, and now he just doesn't. Now he completely changed the way he scheduled.
Yeah, them not making the NCAA tournament had nothing to do with their non-conference play.
Yeah, but
they lost like 9 out of 10 in the middle of conference.
Yeah, and then I do remember though that Buzz has kind of scheduled a lot differently. I feel since then. And
I was impressed by KJ Lewis tonight. You know, we talked about him a lot with our guy DeRosa in the preseason. He looks to be the truth. Malik Mack is still like such an interesting player to watch because like it feels like every time he drives to the basket, he's going to turn the ball over, and that's just not the case with him. I mean, he finishes with a game high 19 points. Miles Rice in 19 too, actually, but game high for Georgetown. Very interested to see how this big rotation works out for the Hoyas as the season goes on. I think
thought Vince was really good tonight.
Vince was really good. Halafanua fouled out. They do some different things well, though. I think Halafanua is a better passer than Vince is. Vince is obviously more comfortable playing at this level because he's done it more. And, like, offensively, that looks to be the case. Vince had 3 blocks tonight. Halafanua had 2 blocks. Even Jaden Fort got in there with 2 blocks, including a really nice chase down block in the first half. So, yeah, like, I had this Georgetown team, I think, 5th in the Big East, like, top 35 in the preseason. And they look to be, like right there. NCAA tournament team.
Yeah, I liked what I saw from Georgetown tonight.
Maryland will win games in conference play. They play a
they
play a very style that's catered to the Big Ten.
Oh, absolutely! It's going to be good for them, especially when they get Solomon.
They will. The way that Big Ten games are called, and I know like officials aren't really assigned to conferences anymore. But
Can I also say that I listened to something? I listened to Stats by Will and Jim, and I was also just noticing, and I don't remember if it was from that pod or from Three Man Weave or from both, but it's also something that I've been noticing.
I feel like I listen to Jim talk like 3 times a week now.
What do you say?
I feel like I listen to Jim talk on pods like 3 times a week now. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, I would highly recommend, if you're not already a Three Man Weave and Stats by Will and Jim listener, that you make yourself one, because if you like this pod, you'll love that. You'll love those pods. Mm-hmm. I think the free throw rates around the country are skyrocketing right now. Like, it just feels like there's a lot more. 37.8 free throw rate through the 5th day of the season. Last year it was 34.5, 33.3, 32.5, 31.4, stuff like that. So yeah, we're getting a lot of free throws.
Yeah, not good for Tennessee, Texas. Obviously these 2 teams, Georgetown and Maryland. You can throw out any others if you want. Teams that are just typically very, very physical and will push you around. Yeah. Michigan State.
I mean, Arizona is going to be that this year.
Yeah. I watched them again tonight.
I did not.
We're an Arizona house with 2.
That's right.
2 siblings there. So, my dad who refuses to root for Mizzou in any capacity, because he's in Illinois. He went to Illinois. But no problem rooting for Arizona with no real.
Yeah, that Mizzou sweatshirt is retired for good.
Yeah, for more than one reason.
It might be burned at some point.
It's possible. He wore it when he came up for my fraternity's dad's weekend for the LSU football game, and haven't seen him put it on since. Actually, that's not true. He put it on when Nikki Kirsten was signing her letter of intent, but she's obviously not at Mizzou right now.
Yes, exactly. Couple other things that we should discuss. Jonathan, were you able to watch any of Utah State VCU, or did the stream crap out on you too much?
I was not watching it. I was box score watching it. I couldn't put, like, as soon as you texted me that like the stream was really bad, I kind of subconsciously made the decision to not even like put the effort in.
Oh, by the way, time to do one of our favorite games.
The St. Mary's score?
That's the St. Mary's score. 19:04 in the second half.
Okay, so pretty early in the second half. We'll go St. Mary's 42. They're playing Chattanooga, right?
Yes.
42-26.
48-36.
Ooh, that's a poor defensive performance for the Gales. Randy.
Yeah, and honestly, not a bad prediction considering what we're usually talking about in this game.
Yeah, the WCC play will be rolling on this segment.
Yeah, absolutely.
St. Mary's WCC games against the non-Gonzaga teams are the most predictable games in the entire world, except for Memphis games against lower-tier American teams.
Oh, God. Yeah, I didn't get to see much of this VCU game. I thought, from what I did see, Nick Lewis was electric.
It looked like Nick Lewis willed them back into the game.
Man, but VCU had a chance to tie the game at the foul line. In the last with 4 seconds left, and Tyrell Ward missed the first free throw, made the second, and they end up losing by 3.
Yeah.
Didn't get a shot off at the last second. Really, not, and like they had the game tied. They forced a miss, and then Gary Clark got the offensive rebound and scored. Gary Clark was awesome in this game. He had 14 rebounds in 27 minutes, 6 offensive rebounds. I think that's something for Utah State that, like, this year. I mean, they were a good offensive rebounding team last year. I think overall, they're probably going to look like a good offensive rebounding team again if Gary Clark is going to be able to do that, like the way he did tonight. Templin, I think, had a bunch of big plays, a couple blocks.
You know who has been great for the first 2 games of the season for Utah State that I'm very happy about?
Who?
MJ Collins. He was
Yeah.
he's a multi-time
No, he was awesome.
participant on my breakout list. And he was on it once at Virginia Tech. Transferring down a level, I kind of regained hope for him, and yeah, he's looked awesome so far. And VCU's got a backcourt that'll get after you.
They've got a bunch of guys. Like they've got a deep backcourt, and a bunch of them played well today.
Surprised that Ward came off the bench for them.
Yeah,
and only played 12 minutes.
I watched a lot of the NC State UAB game.
Okay.
If you want to let me get into that a little bit.
Yeah, go for it. I didn't see much.
I thought for a lot of the first half, UAB was kind of matching them physically. And then in the second half, NC State just like Paul McNeil played really well. Copeland's looks like he's taking a scoring leap. He's like shooting confidently from three. He hit 2 threes tonight. He had a 3 earlier. Darion Williams had a weird night. Like the numbers are solid. It looked okay. I don't think it looked like awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, NC State, they were the much better team in the second half. And I think that's kind of the thing, that they have the athleticism to wear you down. Was a little like Jacob Meyer was really hot early in the game. Chance Westry had some moments for UAB. They're not going to win games when Ahmad Robinson is 2 for 12 from the field. Just not going to happen.
Yeah, UAB will out-talent a lot of teams in their conference with the trio of Meyer, Robinson, and Westry.
Yeah, and Westry looked really good on Monday night against Mississippi Valley State as well. So just got something to keep an eye on, as Westry didn't play much in any of the last 3 years, but he's been around in college basketball.
From what I can remember, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, UAB is not a team that like usually scales up particularly well, just because like their whole thing is like they out athlete you.
Yeah, I mean it's different. Like the roster is obviously different this year. It's no Lendeborg, no Coleman. But I do think that's kind of the thing. I mean, like, yeah, they got blown out last year by Memphis, and they lost to Memphis 3 times last year. Like, that's what happens when you see a team that's athletic. Like, Arkansas State beat them. That's another athletic team.
Memphis doesn't lose to, like, teams like at their level, unless, of course, I pick them to win in the NCAA tournament, and then they lose. But we'll get into them in a second.
Will we?
They play San Francisco this weekend, so I figured we would.
Yeah, so we will have to get into that. Do you want to do a
by the way, your guy Elijah Mahi having a good night for.
Yeah, I've got that game on. I've got a bunch of these games on these screens over here.
So a couple other things that
I
noticed.
We're trying to do a speed run right now.
Yeah, a couple other things I noticed before we get to the previews for the weekend. Sam, do you remember the name Jason Nathaniel that I mentioned to you last year?
Yes.
He is having quite the night for UIC. Didn't play really as a freshman, but UIC currently up 4 on the road. He's got 16 and 6 with 8 minutes to go there.
Ahmad Henderson has 7 steals.
Nick Martinelli, I think I was told tonight he has like 15 straight games with 15 points or more now. One thing I saw tonight that I actually forgot to mention, Kansas is 15 and 14 in their last 29 games. That doesn't seem real.
No, it doesn't. This is a team that won like 15 straight Big 12 regular season titles.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just want to kind of alternate some things here. You gave a couple. I'm going to give a couple now. How about Davidson? That was Davidson basketball. They hit 12 threes. They were 57% from the field. They were dominant throughout this game. They did not trail. In the battle of the Splash Brothers between Davidson and Washington State, Hunter Adam was really good. Parker Fredrickson played well. Sam Brown had his moments. So shout out to Davidson. 2-0 start. They've got Charlotte coming up on Tuesday. So that is probably going to be I would be a little concerned if they lost to Charlotte. Davidson is a lot better in my eyes. I know that's a road game. I know they're a KenPom underdog. I think they should be winning that game. And then Bowling Green is an interesting one. Boston College on a neutral. I believe that is the Charleston Classic. So, again, no games that are like straight up, like no games that are like a guaranteed win until they go and have Carolina A&T after that. So I think we'll learn a lot about Davidson this month. But really, really good performance tonight from them. That's kind of what you want to see from them. And, oh, yeah, I would also say alarm bells on Washington State.
Yeah, definitely.
Did not think this team was particularly great coming into the year. The roster is clearly a lot worse than last year, even the roster when Coward was hurt last year. There's no one as good as Watts. There's no one as good as Calmes. There's no one as good as Isaiah Watts to me on this roster. So it's definitely going to be a struggle for them, I think, in the WCC, which is a little deeper this year. They are now down to 172 in KenPom. That would be the lowest since Ernie Kent's last year. Now, it's a really weird job right now, and I think David Riley's a great coach. But this is some alarm bells for them right now. They play St. Thomas on Monday. We'll definitely be tuning into that one.
Purdue.
Go.
I have no real actual concerns. We know Purdue's good. They played bad. It happens.
Yeah, Braden Smith though averaging 10 assists through 2 games. He is on track to break the Bobby Hurley record.
So a couple really good results for your MAC squads tonight.
Yeah, I'm gonna get into that.
Iona wins the Dan Giroux debut.
Yeah, they were on fire.
This was not as close as 8.
They were up 20-2. They were up by 23 in the first half. CJ Anthony, walk on at Cincinnati for 4 years. Comes to Iona, didn't really know what to expect, and I get the sense that Dan Giroux knew that he had something in him when he was talking to me on the phone for the MAC preview, but he didn't really want to give it away.
Yeah, fair.
If I can go back and read what he said, let me find this.
So while you are finding that, Siena also got a big win tonight.
That game was also not as close as the score.
They held Brown to 46 points and beat him 62-46. Like Sam said, wasn't nearly as close as 16. That's a really good Siena team. Really good team. He
said, what a oh, never mind. He said, don't quote me on that.
So we will not.
What?
Last thing I think for me.
But yeah, it definitely seemed like he was hiding how good he was.
Yeah.
Did not want Hofstra to know. And man, he was really good. I mean, I'd heard he was good in the scrimmages as well. But to see it, he had 25 points on 6 shots.
Two more things for me. One, I'm gonna hold off my thoughts on Illinois until they play for a lack of a better term, real competition. But holy cow, that team looks good right now. And then 2, that Kent State Cornell game I had circled as a good mid-major game tonight, and Kent State had it all wrapped up until Cooper Nord decided that he wasn't going to let this game go to bed easy, and he finishes with 34. I'll see Cornell in person on Sunday at Illinois State. Very excited.
Figure out what's going on with Jake Fegan. He did not play in this game.
I saw he didn't play.
And big for them to get 7 assists from Jacob Beckles as well, I think. So
I'm very excited for Sunday. Cornell, Illinois State, two offensive driven teams. I think it'll be a fun watch.
Staying in the Ivy
Come on,
League.
UIC. This would be such a big win.
Staying in the Ivy League. How about Yale? They were
oh boy.
They were down early in this game. It was, I think, 18-9 Navy. It wasn't very close after that.
It was a
Townsend hit 4 threes in the first 5 minutes after that. He had 16 points really fast. He finished with 23, 9, and 5. They tried guarding him with Aiden Kehoe, just took him to the perimeter and gave him work. Can't really do that. Or you're going to give up the size to Draper on the inside. It was kind of a really bad matchup for them because they don't have any of the they don't really Navy doesn't really have guys that are like the 6'8", 6'9" guys that can move a little bit and would be a solid matchup for Townsend. So that was just a bad matchup. Trevor Mullen had 6 assists, Isaac Seliskar had 4, and Townsend had 5. So Yale's a team 22 assists on 33 field goals. This is a team that we were not certain what the point guard situation was going to look like. I was super impressed by Trevor Mullen. He had a couple really sick passes, including one to Seliskar in transition. It was like a sick bounce pass. And Casey Simmons didn't need to do much in this game. Shout out Riley Fox as well. Was the KenPom MVP. I think he's the best shooter on this Yale team, and I think a lot of people would agree with that. Just in terms of, so if they can kind of unlock him, get him going, he's 6'6" and kind of plays as a combo guard. They can get him going throughout the year. I don't think he's John Palakitis levels as a shooter, but he can be a absolute electric guy to shoot for this team. So blowing out Navy, just total evaporation. They went up 20 spots in KenPom just from this game. Would also like to mention George Mason, kind of weird game. You do not expect George Mason to be playing very many games at that pace, 77 possessions. They were a grinded out team last year. They're going to be a grinded out team again this year. But it's good to see that they can win one of those games. They can kind of go out there, hit 11 threes. They won the rebound battle by a lot. Corey Mincy, they needed him to be really good coming over from Presbyterian. He has been exactly that thus far at KenPom MVP in both of their games. So I think that's big. That's really big. So definitely had an eye on that game. That was a side screen game for me tonight, without a doubt. I want to shout out Kevin Hovde, first win as a head coach. Columbia blasted New Haven.
That was a midday game there.
Yes, it was. New Haven plays Penn State tomorrow at home.
They were talking about that on Ion College Basketball.
Yes, they were. Florida State, I know that it's not. I know that it's been 2 games against Alcorn State and Alabama State, but the possession counts 76 and 78. The 3-point attempt counts 30 and 47. That's what happens when you hire an NBA assistant coach and you have a lot of guys that can shoot the basketball on the roster. Like Martin Somerville, Kobe McGee, Lajay Jones, McCray hasn't even shot the ball well. All those guys can shoot. So I think they play Florida at Florida on Tuesday. They're going to lose that game. They're going to lose that game. And I'm not sure what we'll be able to draw from that game. And they don't play another notable game until the end of the month when they play Texas A&M in Tampa. But I was higher on Florida State than consensus coming in. And I'm starting to, and I definitely like what I've seen from them so far. McCray had 17 assists on Monday. That's something. Yeah. That's something that I wanted to mention that we haven't. Stephen F. Austin tonight might have had the biggest rise in KenPom from a single game that we're going to see all year. They went from 235.
They killed Arkansas.
They went from 235 to 162 by beating Arkansas State 90-65.
You didn't mispronounce that, right? 235 to 162.
I did not mispronounce that.
Dude, that's that's crazy.
It's a 73 spot jump.
Wow. We want a preview?
No, I had more to say about Stephen F. Austin.
Oh, go.
I think this is one of the best backcourts in mid-major basketball that nobody's talking about. Keon Thompson played at UMass a couple of years ago, was at Stephen F. Austin last year, had a solid year. I think he's taken a step forward. And then Lateef Patrick, JUCO from Trinidad State, averaged like 25 a game at JUCO, was committed to Quinnipiac, ended up not making it to campus there, decommitted and committed to Stephen F. Austin in this spring. And he can light it up. He's played 47 minutes and he has 35 points in the first 2 games of the season. He's hit a lot of threes. I think Lateef Patrick and Keon Thompson, backcourt to keep an eye on in the Southland. Matt Brower, a coach that a lot of people spoke highly about, was off the Grant McCaslin tree, already making waves in his first game. They play at Rice on Tuesday, then home against Abilene Christian on Friday. Definitely going to want to keep an eye on Stephen F. Austin going forward, Jonathan.
Yeah, no doubt.
Wanted to see if there's anything else I wanted to talk about. UConn, we do have to talk about this. Was up, Jonathan.
It was like 37 to 2.
It was 44 to 3.
Absurd.
There are two
Dan
sides.
Hurley decided he was going to win another national championship.
There are 2 sides to this. A, UConn is good. Like, they are. We know that. B, UMass Lowell might be really bad.
Yeah.
Lowell gets New Haven on Monday in Lowell. Then they go to Columbia next Thursday. We'll know more about Lowell before they play Wake Forest next Sunday. Big game for Testa Ritter. Guy can hoop. Johan Grunlow had 7 blocks for Virginia against NC Central. That's just another thing to keep an eye on. Juke Harris breakout watch. This is I think we kind of assumed it was. We kind of talked about Miles Colvin as this, but Juke Harris is this year's Wake Forest breakout guy. 29 and 9 tonight.
Yeah, both of those guys were on my breakout list. Yeah.
Would you like to discuss the Missouri game at all?
I would like to discuss the post-game comments from Dennis Gates.
What did he say? What did he say?
He said the first half where SEMO played really well offensively had more to do with what SEMO was doing and the shots they were making than anything Mizzou was doing. I mean, this is the 4th straight year of this happening. Like, they play the same defense they have played for 4 years, and I'm just supposed to expect that, like, I'm supposed to believe that, like, oh, SEMO just had a really good shooting night. No, dude, teams do this to them all the time.
Oregon and Rice are still locked in a close one, by the way. It's a 4-point game with 4 minutes left.
So I'm not hitting the panic button by any means. Minnesota next Wednesday is going to be tricky.
Just a couple other shout outs I want to give. I mentioned Amon Dories last night. He went for 15 tonight. Big second half. I got to actually watch him for the first time tonight. He's good. Like, he can play. He moves really well for a guy at that size. I saw him kind of do some really takes from about 16, 17 feet where he would get to the rim really quickly, hit a huge 3. Really impressed by him for Bucknell tonight. Defensively, kind of struggled against Luke McKeldin. We'll get there with him, but that was a fun watch at the end when I was able to catch some of it. DePaul.
Yeah, they messed around.
They messed around. I think we got to shout out Herman Kofi. He hit 7 threes. He was on fire. Almost single-handedly brought Stonehill back and gave them the lead and gave them a chance to win. They were down 30-5, Jonathan. They were down 30-5 in this game.
Yeah.
And I want to mention Clemson's front court. We talked about it. Nick Davidson, 18-6. RJ Godfrey, 13-6-3. And then Carter Welling had 14-11 in 15 minutes. All right. Let's preview tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I got to watch the last couple. Never mind. I turned it over.
Okay. If you want to take a short break, I got to go take my dog out. So.
What do you mean a short break?
3 minutes.
This is a live podcast, Jonathan.
You can pause it. You've done it before.
Pause the stream?
Or, okay, I have to go upstairs, so you can keep talking.
Let's get a word from our partners. We have no partners. We'll be back. Actually, no. Let me talk about the games that I'm watching right now. We've got a couple games on. Oregon State looking to pull out this win against UIC. It's Josiah Lake at the line. He's got 20. They're up 72-68. Misses the second free throw. It's pulled down by UIC. Here's Henderson bringing it the other way. Henderson into the lane, loses the ball. Looks like they're going to call a foul on Keziah Kesey. 25 seconds left. And is UIC? Yes, UIC is in the 1-1. Let's see this. Yeah, Kesey grabs onto Henderson and kind of takes his arm away from the ball. You're supposed to separate the ball from the arm, not the arm from the ball. So it's 1-1 for Ahmad Henderson, who, as I mentioned earlier, has a lot of steals tonight. He had 23 points against Detroit Mercy on opening night. I'll cut this part out of the actual podcast. Because you don't want to hear this when you're listening back on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Henderson makes the first. Here's the second. It's good. 25.2 seconds. Oregon State has 3 timeouts. UIC has 1. Josiah Lake is going to inbound. Johan Munch coming out of the game. And there's a timeout. So we'll talk a little bit more now about UC Irvine Cal Baptist. Oh, my God. Cal Baptist just tried to throw an alley-oop. And that did not. Here's a corner 3. No good for UC Irvine. This is a really, really fun game, by the way. 2 teams that underrated programs, Cal Baptist and UC Irvine. 45-40 Cal Baptist right now, by the way. Dom Daniels gives it up. There's a little floater. It's no good. Irvine going to go the other way with it. There's a 3. Short. Dom Daniels, one of the best players in the WAC. He had 23 against USC Upstate on Monday. Not sure how many he has tonight. Haven't checked the stats. But they're really spreading it out and want to run some clock and kind of have him dribble a lot and figure stuff out. This is a 3. It's not even close. All right, here we go. Back to Oregon State and UIC. Oregon State's got the ball. Kesey, as I mentioned, no, not Kesey. Lake is inbounding, gets it into Kesey. They trap. They get it to Lake across to Isaiah C. and they foul. Lake, I think, got the ball back at the end there. Really sorry if this is what you kind of came to. If you came to hear me talk about other games that are going to be happening tomorrow, because we'll be back and we'll do that in a minute. Oregon is now up 60-52. The reason why I'm not talking about that game is because I don't have Big Ten Plus. I don't think anybody does. Lake is at the line. Missed the last one of the last set. New set makes the first. Santa Clara up 69-58 on McNeese. St. Mary's up 67-52 on Chattanooga. Big free throw for Oregon State. For Lake, you got it. So Oregon State by 4. Henderson is going to bring it up. The left side of the court crosses over. This is a 3. And Andy Johnson got it to go. So UIC's down by 1. They will get themselves a chance in this game, assuming they can get the foul. And they can grab a rebound or make both, whatever. Andy Johnson with a big shot for UIC. How about Donovan Dent for UCLA with an and one? And there's going to be an exact media timeout in UCLA's game. All right, Jonathan. I'm gonna cut all of that out of the podcast. I was basically just giving some play-by-play for Oregon State UIC. We are back. We are back. Let's talk about the games for the weekend, Jonathan. Let's start at Madison Square Garden. The first kind of marquee MSG game of the year, the first marquee like East Coast game of the year. It's Alabama St. John's. It's at noon. You're going to get up and you're going to watch this game. Where does your evaluation start for this one?
Tough question, because I think like Alabama is a team of variance. I will tell you this. I don't think that St. John should be a 6.5 point favorite in this game, which is what I'm seeing right now. I think these two teams are pretty even, if not, Alabama's slightly better. And obviously you give St. John's the home court here. This is going to be fun. I think Alabama's fast pace against St. John's, like physicality and, forcing turnovers, it is a really intriguing matchup. I'm excited, for LeBaron Philon, like against those guards, who in this backcourt is containing him in this game.
I don't know who.
No, I'm not saying he's going to go win the game by himself, but it's a question for sure. Alabama's rim defense, I think, is another huge question here. St. John's, we know, is a team that finishes well at the rim, bringing back Zuby. You have Dylan Mitchell there. Like, those are guys that are good rim finishers. And Alabama,
they did have 7 blocks.
There's no more Cliff in there to clean everything up. So Aiden Sherrill is going to be a key piece for what Bama does tomorrow and the potential success they could have.
Yeah, I like the matchup of the front court for St. John's, and I like the matchup of the back court for Alabama. So I really don't know where I'm going to go with this. Notable, Amari Allen got the start for Alabama against North Dakota, and he was good. He was really good. He had 12 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals. So I wonder what we see from him. I think he might be kind of the X factor as kind of the glue between the front court and the back court for them, because we now know what he's capable of at his best. I think if they get double digits from Amari Allen, I think they're winning the game.
The other thing is Holloway and Wrightsell didn't play on Monday in the opener, so we don't know if they're going to play tomorrow or not. Wrightsell obviously missed a lot of last season with an injury. He is a guy that
They're likely to play.
Like Wrightsell especially, like no doubt, like has helped Bama win basketball games.
They are likely to play per John Rothstein.
Good. So, not one I will watch live, but I will tomorrow night be going back to watch it.
Yeah, I'll probably be driving for the first half. I'm headed to Binghamton.
What do you have tomorrow?
Binghamton, Niagara at 2. But I'll watch the second half while I get ready for that game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is, if not one of the best coaching matches of the season.
Yeah, I mean, surely Patino versus Oates, and it's two coaches that, you know, they do things so differently, but are both great in their own right. Let's see if Oregon State follows up 3 here.
The game's over. They won.
Oh, you spoiled it for me. Not that I, needed a Valley loss, like not spoiled.
Yeah.
Ahmad got a decent look.
If Alabama's freshmen can be as impactful as they were on Monday, then the Tide will win.
I think that Bama has one of the more underrated freshman classes in the country.
Jemison, Hannah, and Allen were all good.
I like all three of those guys. I was the highest probably on Jemison, but could have made a case for any of the three being impact guys this year.
Yeah. Let's move on a little bit.
Is Noah Williamson a guy that will like handle the physicality of this game well?
He's not going to play much.
Okay.
Like, he's just not. Like, does not seem like he's from what I've heard.
Yeah, he played 14 minutes on Monday.
From what I've heard, he's not adjusted well, like to what.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, not everyone's a hit.
Other big game to discuss tomorrow. Probably the other really
From
really
Breslin
notable.
Center.
Yes, the other really notable one, 7:00 at the Brez. Arkansas, Michigan State. Like, regardless of how you feel about these teams, I feel like I know what the game script looks like already.
I mean, I think we're probably along the same lines here. Like, this could be like a total train wreck. Like, guys just like running into each other.
Like, Arkansas is obviously, to me, the more talented basketball team.
Yeah, agreed.
But like, this is the most obvious Tom Izzo game script I've ever seen. It's the Arkansas kind of goes on a run, Michigan State like claws, and it's manageable, and then the Michigan State wins by like 6 or 7 or 8 in the second half. And shout out Zach Wolf, who texted me that exact thing earlier. And I was like, yep, that was exactly that seems exactly right.
Didn't get to watch Michigan State on Monday.
Like, I feel like I don't need to have watched either of these teams to know how this game is going to go in terms of like what the score is going to be. Obviously, I don't know like who's going to do what. And I did watch like a little bit of the Michigan State Colgate film because I was going to watch Colgate today. I mean, nothing really stood out from the Michigan State side. It's kind of what I expected. Fears can pass. Kohler can rebound.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say something pretty similar to what you said. Arkansas will lead at halftime, and it will be because either is Carter Knox going to play tomorrow?
I'm not sure.
Okay. I'll say either then. Arkansas will lead at halftime, maybe by like 7 or 8. And it will be because Billy Richmond or Carter Knox is playing really well. And when the second half starts, Tom Izzo will adjust something defensively, and Arkansas will go on a scoring drought of like 4 minutes. And Michigan State will win it in the end.
Yeah, I mean, this is the biggest coaching mismatch in a high major game this season, like to this point, without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, there hasn't been that many to choose.
I mean, like you want to say, like, we both think Sean Miller is a good coach. Like that's
Self Davis tonight.
Yeah, different when it's on the home floor of the coach.
Hubert's probably a better in-game coach than
Cal.
Cal.
But it's also different when it's on Hubert's home floor versus Cal's away.
Yeah, that's true.
I would say that for sure. And like we both think Golden and Tommy are good.
So John Calipari's last three games coached against high major opponents after tomorrow will have been Tom Izzo, Rick Pitino, Bill Self.
Chris Beard before that.
I mean,
oh wait, no, we forgot McCaslin.
Oh yeah,
and Beard right before that. That's a lot of national championship finals.
I think we think so much more about that game. That like we think so much more that like St. John's lost that game than Arkansas actually like won the game.
Yeah, it didn't really.
Arkansas did play after that.
Dude, like Cal's still waiting to call that timeout.
No, he called it in August.
Yeah,
according to sources.
Yeah,
sources being my Twitter drafts.
Man, the fact that like they really should have won that game.
If Arkansas wins this game, it will be why.
Because they're more talented.
Darius Acuff.
Yeah, like just they have better basketball players.
Michigan State doesn't have a player that breathes the same air as Darius Acuff.
Like Arkansas has better basketball players. They have better basketball players on the team. Like
with that being said, I'm picking Michigan State to win.
Yeah, like Michigan State's going to win the game because this movie.
I don't know how. I don't know why.
A couple years ago, I said it was like mid-December. Like Michigan State was like 4-5, and I said like, this is the most obvious Tom Izzo get-right game in the history of the sport. And
it was the Baylor game.
And they demolished Baylor, like straight demolished them. This is only slightly less obvious of what the game script is going to look like for a Tom Izzo game. I don't know what it's going to look like against Mark Pope in the Champions Classic. I don't know what it's going to look like at any other point going forward this year. I do know for a fact that Michigan State is going to find a way to win this game.
When we talk about this on Sunday, like, if Arkansas wins, like what's our reaction going to be? Like, oh, this Michigan State team just doesn't have it? Because, like, I think this Arkansas team could be really good.
I mean, I think that's got to be what the reaction is. Like, maybe like it's like come back to me in a couple of months on Michigan State.
I have this team. I have Michigan State like 45th in the preseason in my preseason ratings. I understand that that's unbelievably low, and I understand that they're probably going to make the NCAA tournament, but this roster is not good, and Izzo will make it work to some aspect. Do you want to hit the late game tomorrow?
Sure. Oklahoma Gonzaga?
Yeah, that's the one.
By the way, I hate that this game's not in the kennel.
Gonzaga is going to score 1,000 points.
Yeah. Oklahoma
may score 900, but Gonzaga is going to score 1,000
Oklahoma is 83rd in KenPom defense. Will they finish over or under that this season?
Under.
Yeah.
They scored 102 in the opener against St. Francis. Gonzaga scored 98.
Yeah, St. Francis has gotten blasted twice.
Like, if you want, like, I will be up late watching this. We're obviously not doing a pod tomorrow night, but I will be up watching.
We'll pod on Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday. Are you going to a game Sunday?
No.
Okay, I obviously am.
There's Washington Baylor is at 8:30, but like we should probably do the pod before that.
Okay, I mean we'll figure it out. But
yeah,
the never ending
and we'll let you guys know.
Never ending planning of pods on live.
We are a very organized group of people on Brackets, Bubbles, and Bit Steelers.
Yeah, but this is
that's one of our best running like things, and it's not even a bit. Like we straight up
happens.
It's one of our best running gags, and it's not even a gag.
But back to this game. If you like points and are going to be up tomorrow night, like this is the game for you. There's going to be a ton of them, regardless.
I
of
will
how
also
close
say
it is.
if you like points and you're going to be up tomorrow night, Cal Poly plays Seattle.
Did George?
A couple other
God,
games.
it feels so good to just be able to like say coaches' last names again.
Hey, big win for Magpio tonight.
Oregon ended up winning by 4. Speaking of interesting results, Cal Poly on the road leads UC Irvine by 15 right now.
Cal Baptist.
Cal Baptist, sorry.
Yeah,
Cal
I was talking about that while you were away, and obviously you won't hear that on the pod version of this.
Dominic
but
Daniels.
Rick Croy can coach.
Dominic
Like,
Daniels.
This is one of the more like under discussed programs in general. Dom Daniels is awesome. Like this is like UC Irvine hasn't scored in a very long time.
I'm very high on this UC Irvine.
Like it was 45-40. Now it's 59-40, and it might have been something even lower than that at some point. Like this is a really impressive performance for Baptist, and this is in Irvine.
Yeah.
For tomorrow, just a couple of like rapid fire things that I want to get at.
Yeah.
Princeton, first game of the season tomorrow at Akron. Akron, we saw them. They beat James Madison. This is a really, really good ball club. Akron is the favorite in my eyes and in a lot of people's eyes in the single A MAC. Princeton, I think a lot of people, including me, expect them to have a down year. First game, first time we get a chance to see them. I'm going to be very invested in like following along this game and having an eye on it. And I'll try and watch the film when I get back. So that's something that I'm going to keep an eye on. Obviously Penn State, New Haven. Do you have any thoughts on Penn State playing at New Haven?
It's cool that New Haven gets to host a high major team in their third ever Division I game.
Yeah, it's also cool that Penn State gets to have as many free home games as they're getting out of this.
Ridiculous.
Big five game tomorrow, Drexel and St. Joe's.
Didn't even see that.
Yeah,
Big five, always fun. Also,
always
some
fun.
of the most ridiculous basketball you will ever watch.
Yeah, I don't think any of those institutions have any idea what is going on right now. Just complete, like.
I am texting that in the chat right now.
Like just complete like insanity from all of that. Like there are so many new coaches in the Big Five. There are so many. Like Drexel's probably the closest to having an idea of what's going on. Like right?
Yeah.
Like
definitely.
Because they're the only one. Like and Temple obviously has the same coach, but Drexel's the only one that A has the same coach as last year. B has not had a gambling scandal under their current head coach. So the only one that has both of those.
Yeah. Penn just hired a 70-year-old.
Hey, they looked awesome tonight.
He's not 70, but
they were playing 65. They were playing a D3 team, but they looked awesome tonight. Ethan Roberts scored 28 points in 18 minutes, Jonathan.
Dude, my dad kept calling TJ Power the National Player of the Year tonight. and it was pissing me off.
Good stuff.
So Utah Valley,
some under discussed games tomorrow. San Francisco, Memphis. Memphis opens the season. San Francisco first D1 game. I saw this tweet the other day. And I sent it to you, Jonathan. Like Memphis just started installing its offensive defense like last week.
And
like first of all,
and as I
said, no, we watched the exhibitions.
Yeah, they got smoked in both of them.
Like we can tell.
And as I said the other day, I don't think it takes that long to install isolation drives.
Yeah. BW and South Florida.
Memphis will win tomorrow. Probably, I'll say Memphis wins by double digits. It does not change a single thing about my opinion of that team.
GW in South Florida is a really, really fun game that I'm going to have an eye on. Didn't get to
tomorrow?
Watch. Yes, it is.
How did I miss that?
Didn't get to watch either of these teams on Monday. So don't really have any thoughts on them aside from what I said about them in the preseason. We liked both of them.
Mhm.
But we'll move on. There's also Vanderbilt at UCF, Montana at Stanford. I mentioned Ibuka Okori last night. He gets to play basketball again tomorrow. That's awesome stuff. IU Indy plays basketball tomorrow. Will not be missing that. They could win 4 games, 14 games, or 24 games. I will watch every single one of them.
They play Butler too, who looks pretty good in the opener.
Yeah, Michael Ajayi got a helmet sticker from me. And then there's Charleston FAU. Charleston got blasted tonight by Liberty.
Charleston's missing.
Charleston's missing a lot of guys.
Hickman's not eligible. Colby Duggan's out like 6 to 8 weeks. Dean didn't play, and somebody else didn't play too.
Yeah, I saw that. So that'll be an interesting one. And then I think that's basically all I got. Chattanooga UNLV should be an interesting one. Chattanooga coming off of playing at St. Mary's
right now.
They play at UNLV tomorrow night. UNLV needs the bounce back win.
Do they ever? Yeah.
Jonathan, you want to take us home?
Whoa! We're not talking Sunday.
Oh, didn't even think about Sunday.
I mean, we're not previewing Sunday unless we're doing a pod at 7 a.m. before I leave.
I mean, I don't really have anything to say about much of those games. Did we talk about Indiana yesterday?
Briefly.
I don't really have any more to say.
You think they're going to win on Sunday?
I have no idea. I mean, if they
is it crazy to say I'm more intrigued? Intrigue's not the right word. I'm more curious about the Washington Baylor game than Indiana Marquette. I feel like I know more what Indiana and Marquette are. I have no idea what this Baylor team is. I have no idea what this Washington team is.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
And also, it will be my first time watching Hannes Steinbeck live. So
I would not be surprised at all if Indiana comes out and is up like 15-4 in this game because they hit like 5 threes.
I would be. This is early season Marquette. They're not tired yet.
No. Okay. But this is also an Indiana team that's going to shoot like crazy this year. Now, I think Marquette probably like over the course of 40 minutes can wear down Indiana. And I think
I'm going to guess this is going to be a pretty pro Indiana crowd.
Yeah. I mean, Marquette fan base versus Indiana fan base.
Yeah. It's at the United Center. So.
Yeah, I know. But Indiana's the Ken Pom favorite, by the way.
I think they should be.
I don't know who's going to win this game. If I go with my gut tells me say Indiana. I was in on Indiana in the preseason. I loved every minute of watching Indiana earlier this week. Marquette kind of had a little bit of a struggle defensively against Southern. They did not. They allowed a lot of points. They did not play particularly great basketball. I don't think for a lot of the game. They hit a lot of threes. I will say that. I'm just going to say it like this. I'm going to put my money where my mouth was in the preseason. I'm going to take Indiana.
This is going to be these are two teams that play 5-out offenses.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be no rim protection whatsoever in this game.
Right.
Neither team has any.
And I will say that
that's kind of what I think. That's kind of why I think this is a good match.
I think Marquette is a better rim pressure team.
But I think this is a good matchup for Indiana in the sense that, hey, Reed Bailey doesn't have to guard a post.
That's very true. Indiana's also going to get up their threes against everyone.
Yeah.
Awesome basketball team.
All right, Jonathan. Now do you want to take us home?
If you came to hear about Tyler Self and where he's working, you came to the right place. If you came to hear about... Shoot, I didn't think of one for tonight. Give me a sec. Stall.
No, you live with this.
If you came to hear about the Big Five institutions and having no idea what they were doing, you came to the right place. And if you came to hear about the latest happenings with Caleb Grill, you came to the right place. This has been Season 6, Episode 49 of Brackets, Bubbles, and Bit Stealers. We'll see you on Sunday.